What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Sterl Gaming, coming at you with another hot reviewing of a product. Just kidding. Was that a pretty good impression of everybody on YouTube? I don't know. So, today we have the BASSTOP. Is it BASSTOP or Bass? It's BASSTOP, not BASSTOP. Nintendo Switch replacement shell. Obviously, I went with Atomic Purple, which is a throwback to the old school Nintendo days from the 90s when they used to make cool different cases and shells for their consoles and Game Boys and stuff. Now they just do the Joy-Cons, which is fun, but this takes it to the extra mile and lets you do the actual Switch tablet shell too, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, this was on Amazon for about $40, I think. I'd have to look it up. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. Let's do like right there. We'll put it right there. Anyways, so yeah, installation was tricky to say the least. If you're a novice at dealing with electronics and stuff, taking stuff apart and figuring out how they work, this is not for the faint of heart, especially with the Joy-Cons. Maybe enlist the help of somebody who's more experienced, or just take it very, very slow, because Joy-Cons are pretty expensive and it's really easy to mess one up with considering there's very fragile parts inside and a lot of ribbon cables that could easily be torn. So be wary with that. The actual quality of the build. Well, first off, the looks. It looks the part. It looks awesome. I love it. Definitely unique. I love the buttons are a different color on both sides. Now you can order the optional left Joy-Con with the D-pad instead of the button D-pad, it'll be an actual cross D-pad, but I went with the kind of matching color scheme there. So for looks, it looks great. So build quality, I give it maybe a 7 out of 10. Not great, not perfect, but not terrible. I mean, the mold's pretty much spot on with the Nintendo version. There's a little bit of flex, especially on this side. I've tightened all the screws really well and everything, but I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a little bit of a flex with the Joy-Con on this side especially. So when you're gripping it like this, there's movement, which isn't good. The back, the kickstand is probably the worst part of this whole thing. Now it technically works, but it is really, really flimsy, and I actually had to sand the top of it right here just a little bit to get it to work properly, because it wasn't moving and it was gonna break if I tried to open it. So I had to sand just a little bit of the top just to get it to swing open. And now it's, it functions about the same as the normal one, but it's nowhere near as sturdy. This plastic is a lot thinner, or a lot less dense, a lot less good quality than the original Nintendo plastic or ABS or whatever it is. Also, the buttons on the Switch, the Nintendo version, are double shot, which means that it's the lettering on the buttons are actually embedded in the actual button. But these ones that came with the BASSTOP version are just regularly injection molded and then printed on. So the lettering will no doubt wear out after a while of use. And the X is off center. I don't know if you can tell, but it's off center just a little bit. Just not very professional, I guess. The A's a little bit off. It's just not very refined. And this is supposedly the updated version, so I don't know what they updated. But I think for the value, for $40, for that price, it's not bad. You definitely have a unique Switch. No one on your block will have the same Switch as you, unless you told them what you did and they went out and bought the same thing. But I showed people at work and stuff, and they really liked it and they really enjoyed it, and they had no idea that something like this existed. The back looks awesome. I wiped the screen off to get so it's not all gross and fingerprinty. But look, one little touch and it's just nasty. But so all in all, if you want a really unique looking Switch, I recommend doing this. If you don't want to do any kind of custom installation and taking your Switch apart, then just buy some new Joy-Cons and you should be pretty happy. If you're not afraid to take stuff apart and put it back together and you're pretty comfortable with electronics, then yeah, go ahead and definitely pick this up. Now, I do recommend getting the clear versions. There's many different colors of this kit. There's the clear versions, which are about all the same clear colors that Nintendo offered for all their like Nintendo 64s, like blue, green, purple. I think there's just a regular like smoked clear. But then they also offer solid colors too. But the problem with the solid color version is that there's this really obnoxious like logo on the back. Obviously, they can't put Nintendo Switch, but it's just some like really just lame like knockoff looking logo that they use. Just make it blank. It's really bad. I don't know if you're able to peel it off or not, but that's just extra work anyway. So go ahead, definitely get the clear, unless you don't care. That it looks like, you know, it would look like you bought like a, because I'm sure they're out there, but like you bought like a bootleg like knockoff Switch from like eBay, you know, like a Nintendo Swatch or something. To sum it up, the pros of this are it's not that expensive. It's only $40 to $50. So if you've had your Switch for a while like I have and you want to kind of mix it up and change the look of it a little bit, then you know it's not too much of an investment to drastically change. It almost feels like a new Switch. The cons are not the Joy-Cons, but the cons are the build quality's not up to Nintendo standard. The buttons are gonna wear off. I almost guarantee it. The kickstand is pretty much usable. It's usable, but I would not trust it. Even the Nintendo version is a little flimsy, but this one, forget about it. Also, another con that I didn't mention before, and I don't know, this would probably raise the price drastically of the unit itself, but the front part is still black, obviously, so they didn't include a shell part for that, which I can imagine that would probably really raise the price. And then also, one of the really nitpicky cons is that they didn't include buttons for the shoulder parts, the Joy-Con shoulder buttons, the SR and SL and everything like that. I really, really wish they would have, because it just looks weird, you know? And I checked. They don't. It wasn't like it was missing in my kit. It's just they don't offer that, which I don't know why. They're probably like 4 really small buttons, and you already have the Joy-Con completely torn apart when you have to install it. So why not include that? I don't know. But all in all, I give it a 7 out of 10. The cons probably outweigh the pros. There's a really high risk of messing up your Joy-Cons for good. The actual back of the tablet part was really easy to do. Just a few screws, replace it, and boom, you're good. But the Joy-Cons were really tricky. If you're impatient and you're a novice with electronics, then don't try it. But yep, so that's it. Nintendo Switch from BASSTOP. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys later.